Off the top at 6, an incredible story of survival. A Stanton woman transitioned to hospice care, told she likely wouldn't make it. But now she's defeated COVID.
Emily Leonard is here now with this story, new at 6. Emily?
Brian and Sue, Joann Parr and her husband moved into their lovely country home outside Stanton more than 20 years ago. She says it was their peaceful place of serenity. And so when doctors told her she most likely would not survive COVID-19, she wanted to return home.
79-year-old Joann Parr is no stranger to loss. A year ago, just before the pandemic set in, she lost her husband, Larry. She's also had to lay her 2 sons to rest.
The doctors told me I probably wouldn't breathe when I got home when they took the ventilator out.
As she lay in Blodgett Hospital contemplating death last fall, she knew that meant leaving behind her daughter, Julie, and neighbors, she says, are more like extended family.
Either or, I had come to the realization that it would be okay, but I wanted to go home.
This might work out okay. You know, we thought Joann might see her home and her flowers and her beautiful landscape there in Stanton, Michigan, and we thought she might do okay.
It was September, and that's when Hospice of Michigan was brought in to make Joann's end-of-life wishes come true. Earlier in the month, when cases had started to rise in Michigan, Joann had gone to visit her ailing brother-in-law.
Well, I didn't know that they had COVID right across the hall. So I come home, and then he passed away the next week. I went down to the funeral, and there was 15 or 16 of us that come home with COVID.
For a week and a half, Joann was sick at home, alone. Her neighbor and her daughter finally convinced her to see a doctor.
I knew I was going to Sheridan. That's where she was going to take me. But honestly, I don't remember going in.
Doctors worked for days to stabilize her so she could be transferred to Blodgett in Grand Rapids. And that's where she expressed her wish with a pen and paper to return home.
The minute I walked in and saw her, I knew that this young lady was gonna beat COVID. I truly did.
Hospice of Michigan nurse Casey Keyser has been next to Joann's side through this journey, and soon the two will part ways, but not in the normal way a hospice nurse and a patient say goodbye, because inside that country home near the pond that day, Joann started breathing again on her own.
It was kind of like a very surreal thing. I mean, I'm laying there before they took the ventilator out, and I'm looking around and listening to everybody talk and say, this isn't right, you know?
Not ready to say goodbye, Joann has been breathing on her own ever since.
It's a combination of stubbornness, I think maybe a little bit of divine intervention and some pretty good medical care.
A lot of divine intervention.
Oh, yes, okay.
God decided that he wanted me to stay.
And another amazing part of this story is that hospice nurse Casey, at 34 years old, with a wife and 4 kids at home, Casey quit his job in sales and accounting. He went back to school and he became a hospice nurse. He called caring for his own grandfather in his final days a life changer, and he realized working in a business setting just wasn't going to be fulfilling for him.
Oh, what a great story all the way around, Emily.
Yeah, a lot of passion there.
For sure. Thanks for that.